1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to 31 Days of Horror. Oops, all werewolves.
Whoopsie.
This is day number 2. I am one of your
Wow.
hosts, Precious D.
And I am the other one of your hosts, Honey Bee. Happy October, you little monsters.
This is our annual 31 Days of Horror marathon where we put out an episode every day of the month like a couple of maniacs. Today, obviously, this year we have a theme. We're doing all werewolves. We'll have many guests throughout the month, but today is just me and Honeybee, and we are talking about The Wolfman from 2010, remake
Wowee.
of The Wolfman from 1941.
Yeah, baby.
It is 103 minutes, so a little bit longer than the original. The budget was $150 million. The box office was $142.6 million.
Aw.
Mwah, mwah.
Bummer.
So that's considered a failure because it cost so much, but that's still a lot of people went to see that. They just spent too much making it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it works.
That's show business, baby.
It stars. Let's see, who does it star?
Dude, this cast. Holy shit, this cast.
It's a very 2010.
Yeah.
Very 2010
for
cast.
sure.
Benicio
never
del
seen
Toro. How did you never saw it?
I've never seen it.
I don't know. I saw it in the theater, and then I bought it. And then I bought a digital copy. Benicio del Toro as Lawrence Talbot. Nobody calls him Larry in this version. He's Lawrence.
Which I just want to say really quick while we're here, they casted him very well. Just structurally, they kind of structurally look similar. They don't look the same, but they just kind of have a very wolfy face.
Yeah. Who, him and Anthony Hopkins?
No. Him and the actor from the original.
Oh.
They're just very even
Lon
without
Chaney Jr.
makeup. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they're both kind of okay. Like a little wolfy.
Anthony Hopkins plays Sir John Talbot. Emily Blunt as Gwen Conleaf. Hugo Weaving as Inspector Francis Aberline, loosely based on Frederick Aberline, who was a real guy who investigated the Ripper murders. Geraldine Chaplin as Maleva. Art Malik as Singh. Anthony Shearer as Dr. Honegger. David Schofield as Constable Nye. David Stern as Kirk. Simon Morales as Ben Talbot. And Asa Butterfield as young Ben Talbot. Christina Contis as Solana Talbot. Michael Cronin as Dr. Lloyd. Nicholas Day as Colonel Montford. Clive Russell as McQueen. Roger Frost as Reverend Fisk. And Max von Sydow appears as an elderly man who gives Lawrence the wolf-headed cane.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That was cut from the theatrical version, but restored in the unrated director's cut, which is what we watched. Which is outrageous that you get Max von Sydow for one scene and then you cut him? What the fuck?
Yeah, what the hell?
Although, for some reason, the cane ends up not being that important. So, maybe that's why they cut it.
I mean, kind of.
It's not the final...
Scene.
But it's not the thing that kills either wolf, like in the original. We didn't really talk about that much yesterday. I mentioned the cane in passing, but I didn't mention that. It's a silver-headed cane, and he kills... In the original, he kills Bela with the cane, and then his father kills him with the cane. And in this one, the cane is actually a weapon. It's got a blade. It's one of those sword cane things or little dagger cane. And nobody uses it to kill a werewolf at any point. So that was
You know what other object kind of makes a guest appearance in this movie that was in the first movie is the telescope.
When does he use a telescope?
In this movie, in the remake, the dad he like has a telescope and they both like look up at the moon.
Okay, but it's like a pocket telescope though, not a big giant.
No. It's a big giant one. Mm-hmm. It's a big
Oh, is
giant
it?
mounted one.
I don't.
Yeah. Yes.
I guess I blinked. I don't remember.
And I was like, damn, the telescope made it. Thank God it's not creeping on any women in their fucking houses.
Honeybee, do you remember Max von Sydow? Mm-mm. He was Ming the Merciless in Flash Gordon.
Nope, don't remember.
Yeah. Folks, if you want to hear us talk about Flash Gordon, join our Patreon at patreon.com/mmftg, where we go through all the movies mentioned in the lyrics to Science Fiction Double Feature from Rocky Horror Picture Show, including Flash Gordon. Anyway, back to this movie.
I am so curious to hear how you feel about this movie.
Well, the first thing I think of interest is the original movie seems to be set in the year that it's made. Mm-hmm. It's this European village that is, it's a set, but the time period of the environment is a little indistinct, but everybody's wearing modern clothes and there is an automobile in the film. So it seems to be taking place near 1941.
Right. And this one's like the 1890s, right?
Yes, because he mentions investigating the Ripper a few years ago, which I believe was 1888. So this is around 1890. So it's specifically a period piece and not a 1940s period piece. For whatever reason, they decided Wolfman should be 1890-ish.
I'll tell you why. And I said this in the last episode. It's because it's really hard to make a Wolfman scary. It just looks fucking ridiculous. It looks goofy as shit. And if it was in 2010, like the Wolfman from 2010, it would just be hysterical because it's just a hairy dude like running around killing people. It's just not scary. And like, whereas like if it's set in like the 1890s, that's way scarier because there's not a lot. There's not, like the internet and shit. Like if there was a Wolfman and then like 2023, people just be like pulling out their phones like, look at this hairy douchebag just like killing people. Like it would just be totally different. It's just hard to make a Wolfman scary. It's just difficult.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. It just looks hilarious. It looks way better in this movie because we're in like 2010, but it just looks like a dude with hair. Like it just looks like a hairy, like if I made a video of my legs, I could be transforming into the Wolfman right now. Like it's just ridiculous. It's just so silly. And so for it to be in the 1890s, it's like way less silly and way more scary. That's just what I'm like guessing. But
all right, I do appreciate that they stuck with the Wolfman design and didn't go with a more wolf design. I think they did a really good job, and they really were, I think, trying to pay tribute to the original design, and
for sure, absolutely
upped it a little with CGI effect.
Yeah, and that scene where he's like actually like in the courthouse or wherever he is in that room where he's locked in with all the people, and he's like actually changing into the Wolfman, like so dope, like so fucking cool. I loved that scene. It was so cool.
Right. So even though they changed the setting, the period, they kept a lot of the elements that, everybody's got the same name that they had. Mm-hmm.
Except for the brother is Ben instead of John.
Oh, yeah. But it's still Lawrence and Sir John and Gwen Conleaf. They added some stuff, I think it's a pretty good remake in that it kept enough elements of the original to still be related to it, but did enough new and interesting things that they're not just, going over the exact same ground. They switched it up enough for there to be a reason to do it but we're still true to the like the spirit and the intent of the original. So I appreciated all of that.
Yeah,
I liked it. Did you think I?
Oh, good.
I wouldn't. Or were you afraid I wouldn't?
Yeah, I didn't think you would. Yeah, yeah, I thought you'd be like, this is horse shit. This isn't what, cause I figured, I didn't know for sure, but I figured that you loved this movie, like the original, because you were like, I want to do this movie specifically, and, even talking about, like, when we were going to do it or whatever, I just figured that you, like, enjoyed the first movie. So I was very skeptical, especially because of how much I loved the remake, that you were not going to like it. But I'm so glad that you did. I'm really glad you did.
I think they did a good job. It's a shame it didn't do so well. And I don't know. Universal keeps trying to restart the Universal Monster shared universe. I don't know. I don't remember them mentioning that at the time this movie came out. But every time they do this, it fails. And most of the other entries in these attempts have been terrible. So I think this one is the best of the bunch of the new Universal. Technically Invisible Man was too, but they weren't trying to make that part of the dark universe, is what they were calling it. I believe Dracula Unbound was the first official attempt at that, but they also keep trying to put it in modern times. But I think the Mummy with Tom Cruise was an attempt at that, and a more direct attempt because they put another character in there also to try and imply there was a broader world of monsters. I think Victor Frankenstein was also an attempt at this, but maybe if this movie had done well, it would have led to something like that, but it didn't do well. So
I'm so sad that it didn't, because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
There was something that I didn't like about it, which was, you know how, like, in the first one, like, everyone's like, ha ha, werewolves, yeah, right. I kind of hated how, like, in this one, they're like, he's a werewolf, and, like, he doesn't
the whole
even
town
know he's a werewolf yet. Yeah.
Right. The whole town just comes marching up to the street.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job with it. I just was like, really? Wow. Because like, as soon as that happened, like, as soon as the whole town, like, comes marching up, they're like, you've been bitten by the beast. You're a werewolf. I was like, damn, how much longer do we have in this movie? And it was like an hour and 30 minutes. And I was like, well, shit. Okay, well, there's no mystery here. Like, what is going to happen here for the rest of this movie? We don't have to figure out who the werewolf is. But they did a great job. Like, they did it so good. I also kind of love how Gwen was more, she wasn't such a damn idiot. No, she just, I just, like, really appreciated her character and who she was in this movie in comparison to the first movie, where she was, like, she had purpose. She everything she did was for a reason. She moved with purpose for a reason, and I mean, who doesn't fucking love this actress? Like, good Lord in heaven, she's just
great.
So great in everything.
But
and
and the way they ended up making it so that she could be the only one that killed him, which I
was
weird.
Like, what in the Disney princess bullshit is going on here? Like,
well,
when the woman is like, you have to be released by someone who loves. I was like, what the fuck is that?
I don't know, but yeah, they set that up early, because then they keep throwing all this silver around, but nothing happens with any of it. And then she just shoots him with a regular old bullet, but because she loves him, the brother of her dead fiance, who she's known for a week, she loves him enough. She loves him enough that she's able to kill him. But there are 2 alternate endings on the Blu-ray. I don't know if they were I don't know if they were available in the digital version you watched. It's a little annoying though, because they go back further than they need to when they're showing you each alternate ending. They go back like 3 or 4 minutes when they really only need to go back 30 seconds. And in one of them, he's got her pinned down and he bites her, but then she shoots him and he dies, but she's laying there with her neck all chewed up. And then the other one, he bites her. So does she become
a werewolf?
Well, I think it's implied that she might, but it ends there. But I can't remember if she seems dead or just mostly dead.
Does she look at the moon? Maybe.
She's sort of lying there, and it kind of seems like she's dead, but she, killed him as he was killing her. And then the other one, he just kills her, and she doesn't shoot him.
Oh.
So, but they all keep jumping back to the point where Hugo Weaving's leaning against the tree, and they go through the whole chase and the whole her on the edge saying, you know me, and all of that stuff. And I'm like, no, you can just cut to whether he bites her or not. Anyway, yeah, it seemed like they couldn't quite make up their mind about how they wanted to end it.
Well, I'm glad they ended it the way that they did, kind of.
They went with the instead of going with the full tragic where they both die, or with the Wolfman triumphant, they went with the he dies and girl survives. So
that's good, because what I was wondering is, like, when she dies, who is she going to bang in heaven? Like, is it him or his brother? Like, who does she go to?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because she fell in love with both of them? Question mark.
Right. I see here on Wikipedia that this was released in February. What the fuck? Why would you not release this in October? That is insane.
That's hilarious. That is so funny.
No wonder it did so poorly.
Yeah, this isn't a Valentine's Day movie, you fucking
yeah,
fucks.
Exactly. Idiots.
Something that, like, really bothered me in the beginning of this movie that I didn't get for quite some time was, I was like, why is the dad such a douchebag? But obviously you get it eventually. But I was just like, why is he so fucking... And I was like, am I reading this wrong? Like, is he not a douchebag? Am I just... But no, yeah, he really is. He is. It was my bad. I didn't catch on quickly enough there.
Yeah. Now in this one, instead of some kind of... Larry was some sort of, I don't know what, but technical guy. Not exactly an engineer, but he worked for, like, did he say an electrical company?
Yeah, I can't remember. Something about... Cause
he's good with tools.
Asks, like, do you like horoscopes or something like that in the first
No,
movie?
not horoscope.
Oh, yeah, horoscopes. Yeah, astrology.
Astronomy. Do you like astronomy? Oh, that was an interesting throwaway line, the first one, when he says, no, he's like, well, I'm good with tools and stuff, but when it comes to astronomy, I'm just an amateur. And his dad says, well, all astronomers are amateurs. There's only one professional when it comes to the stars.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this guy is an actor for some reason.
Yeah.
Who is performing what I thought was a thoroughly mediocre Hamlet in the beginning of the movie. I was unimpressed.
That is hilarious. That's so funny.
But I'm booked for another 30 performances.
Mm-hmm. This movie's a trip. This movie is a fucking trip, my dude. Like, the kind of, there are two moments. The first one where he's, like, remembering him and his little brother as kids and, like, remember seeing his dead mom. The effect that they put in this, like, memory is just, chef's kiss. It's so good. But then later on, when he's kind of, like, being tortured and they're trying to, like, make him sane through all of this crazy torture and shit, the montage of just, like, the craziness and, like, little bits of the movie and different people saying different lines, and that was a fucking work of art. It was... I had to watch it twice. Like, I want to watch it again right now. It's so good. It's so well done. How they just, like, take different pieces of the movie and, like, change people or, like, change people's heads or whatever. Like, it was so well done. It was so good. I loved that effect so much. It was literally just, like, a piece of art to me in that... I had to watch it again. It was so good. I just loved it.
Okay.
Did you didn't like that?
No, it didn't. It's not that I didn't like it. It just didn't hit me as hard as it hit you, I guess.
Ugh, it hit me so hard.
Yes, well, let me think. What else? So I don't know why he was an actor. And then his father's like, well, I don't quite get this acting shit. But then he goes on to play classical music and quote poems and stuff. And just kind of, I don't know. His dad was kind of all over the place.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a douche. He's a douche canoe for sure.
Yeah, he's so good at it, though.
So good at it.
I love Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, it seems like they cast Benicio because they want someone who looked like he was half Romany. They do sort of briefly address the kind of racism towards the Romany in Britain. People acting like real jerks about Anthony Hopkins marrying a Romany woman.
My mother was not a whore.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you something else that I hated. Something else I hated about the movie was like Gwen is like, let me help you. If this can be real, then anything can be real. Let me help you. And then we see all of this, like her studying and her like looking for all these answers, and then she goes to find the like sorceress woman, and she's like, what do I do? Help me. And then this fucking bitch just starts speaking in riddles, and I'm like, okay, like we just get all of this, like Gwen doing all of this shit to try to like figure it out and to try to help him, and then this bitch just comes and speaks in riddles, and I'm like, okay, so what? She didn't tell her a fucking thing. And then when she goes, she like travels all this way, finds him and his dad fighting, like finds him, and then it just ends. Like she just kills him. Like, so that you couldn't just do that. Like you had to study and all this shit to figure that out. Like it was just so stupid. Like
just,
we just saw
her research
so much
didn't matter
for nothing. Yeah, none of it fucking mattered. Yeah. It really annoyed the shit out of me. And then like the woman talking in riddles, I'm like, just fucking say it. Like, speak in English, woman. Like, say it. What are you trying to say? Not like, oh, you leave him to his fate. You know what to do. You're risking your life. May the saints be with. Like, just fucking say it. What do I have to do? Just what do I have to do? Tell me. Oh, there's nothing to tell me? Okay, cool. I'll go fucking figure it out. And then she just goes and like shoots him. I was like, wow. Okay, well that was pointless.
Yeah, it seems like with all that research, she should have come up with what she thought was a cure. She's like, oh, I've got this mixture of silver and wolf's bane and holy water, and this will, and then it doesn't work maybe, but at least, you know, it's like she was putting in all that effort for some reason, but
for any reason, but no.
Now this movie opens with the poem. Even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. But then, unlike the original, nobody else says it again. The rest of the movie.
Which in the original,
it was kind of like
everybody says it.
Yes, it's like we're contractually obligated to insert this poem, but we are not going to beat you over the head with it. Yeah, in the original, 3 or 4, at least, people recite that, and everybody knows it because we're like, when one person says it, they're like, oh yeah, that's the thing. we all know it, we all say it.
Yeah, but we don't believe in werewolves. We just all say this thing. And
I kind of wish they didn't have. I wish they had Maleva. I wish they'd had Maleva say her little. She had this weird little thing that she said that was almost a poem. Because she says it over Bela. She says it over Bela, but then she says it over Larry, too, about your path was thorny through no fault of your own. And I don't remember the whole thing, but basically,
and now you can rest in
life
peace, my son.
Is tough, and then you die. Be at peace now, you poor schmuck.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's something, it seems to mean something because she says the exact same words to both of them. So it's some kind of an incantation to her. And I just thought that would have been interesting if they had Geraldine Chaplin say that. Geraldine Chaplin, daughter of Charlie Chaplin, ladies and gentlemen, if you were unaware.
Aw, cute.
Part of the, she I mean, she's had quite a career of her own. you know, she's been in a lot of stuff. So that was just another big casting thing, really. Like, hey, let's get somebody people have actually heard of to play this old lady.
I mean, haven't people heard of everybody in this movie? Like Anthony Hopkins, Benicio del Toro.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Benicio was definitely...
It was Beauty who killed the beast. Wah wah.
But yeah, I think at this point, Benicio had already been in a couple of big things, so he was definitely cast because he was somebody who was hot at the moment. So, Honeybee, what are you going to rate?
Hot Wolfman.
What are you going to rate the Wolfman from
5
2010?
stars. 5 stars for me. I loved it. I loved the twists. I loved the spins. I loved everything that they kept from the original movie. All the small Easter egg things that you could see. Like, even like when he goes to find Gwen at the end after he's like escaped and she's in an antique shop. Like, all of those little things, you know, that, just all of those tiny things that were so good from the first movie and the original just made it so good, but also making the story so different. And man, I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. I had such a great time watching both of these movies, but I definitely, you know, you can't have this one without the other one, so I definitely appreciate the other one and like where it came from. But this movie I loved, and I will definitely be watching again. It was 5 stars for me.
I can't remember what I've rated it in the past. I'm sure I gave it at least 4 stars, but I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 right now.
Nice.
I enjoyed watching it again. I've seen it at least 3 times now. Maybe more. Saw it in the theater.
This is my first time.
I saw it in the theater. Then, you know, I bought a physical copy and watched that at least once. And watched it a day or two ago. But I may have seen it a couple more times. So, folks, join us here through the rest of the month for 31 Days of Horror. Oops, All Werewolves. Follow us on all the socials that you can find all the links to all the things at mmftg.com, and consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/mmftg. If you like the show, please rate and review us on whatever podcasting platform you listen to. Until next time, I have been Precious D.
And I have been Honey Bee.
Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements.
And please don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go.
Fuck yeah, brother. So good.
You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texacato Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/mmftg.
The way you walked was thorny, through no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea. So tears ran to a predestined end. Your suffering is over. Now you will find peace for eternity.